Now let's talk about the players that are waived. This is huge. These are the players you no longer have say so. You don't get to determine if they come back or not because they have to clear waivers. Waivers is tomorrow, Wednesday at noon Eastern. So we're going to find out this list really early. It usually drops about 20 minutes after the deadline. So that's 9 a.m. Waivers have to be submitted by our time, Pacific Standard Time, right? So, and here's another thing that's important. The 49ers are 30th. It does not work like the draft where, okay, first gets to pick one guy, second gets to pick one. No, no, no. If, for example, the Chicago Bears, who have the first overall pick, they claim 7 guys, they put in claims for 7 guys, they get all 7. If the number 2 team, the Cardinals, put in a claim for 5 guys, they get all 5. So you're not getting these guys back as far as claim. It's very difficult for the Niners to claim anybody, but usually teams don't put in but maybe 1 or 2 claims. So it is possible you can get somebody back, but I'm just going to be very honest and forthright with you. Most of these guys aren't coming back. If they don't get claimed, now it's practice squad time, right? And again, the Niners wouldn't claim any of these players because they could have had them. You would claim other teams, other players that were waived from other teams. I doubt the Niners are going to do too much of that. So here are the players that were waived. You do not have control over these guys if they come back or not. Alex Barrett, incredible preseason. I would argue next to Cleveland Farrell had the best preseason of any defensive end. But the reality is, who's going to take this guy? He's been on our practice squad for 3 years. Yeah, he's improving, but that's what it is. Jack Coletto, say goodbye, guys. I understand Mike Silver put out a thing saying, there's better fullbacks out there. Yeah, and he might be right. Jack Coleto's not going to get claimed as a fullback. He's going to get claimed as the Taysom Hill. He had offers from 4 or 5 teams, chose the Niners because of Kyle Shanahan. We paid him pretty considerable as far as the amount of money that goes towards the undrafted free agents, but I just don't get it. I hope he comes back. Obviously, the Niners would love to have. He's been so consistently good, but I think that's it. The relationship with Jack Coletto, I think, is done for now, sadly. The Jack Hammer, the incredible guy, but he's awesome. Who knows? Maybe second contract later down the road. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does clear waivers and they get him back on the practice squad. That would be wonderful. This is one of those situations where I'm just sitting here saying, man, I really hope I'm wrong. I really, really do. Terror Dome, the man, he says they waived Marlon Davidson. Thank you. Dude was awesome. Awesome. All preseason. He was the 3rd best defensive tackle we had. I tweeted this out. Every single year there's transactions I disagree with. This one is one of the top ones this year. It really did seem like the Niners are making much more of a conscious decision based on contracts and dead money instead of a meritocracy. You cannot tell me Marlon Davidson wasn't one of the 6 best defensive tackles. You cannot do that. It's impossible. Now, maybe they're hoping he clears and they bring him back. That's awesome. But I'm telling you right now, that dude played better than Givens. That dude played better than Kalia Davis. This dude played better than Javon Kinlaw. This dude played better than any defensive tackle not named Eric Armstead and not named Javon Hargrave. He was that damn good. Niners saw it differently. Yeah, how much of that is just, look, man, we didn't owe this guy any money, so we're going to keep the other guys. And maybe Kalia Davis, who we got to see just a little bit of in that final preseason game, showed enough to be the guy. Yeah, I don't like it. Joey Fisher didn't really flash near as much. He was the highest paid guy that we have, one of the highest paid guys, undrafted free agents. He never flashed. Alfredo Gutierrez, once he clears, each team in the NFL gets 16 roster spots for their practice squad, but the NFL is rotating divisions for this international player program. So Alfredo Gutierrez, once he clears waivers, which he will, the Niners will be able to bring him back as an addition to our practice squad. So we really get 17. So the NFL has 16, but if you're one of the divisions that have the international and they're rotating all 8 divisions, We'll be able to get Alfredo back. He'll be in the locker room and will not count against the 53. He will not count against the 16 practice squad guys either. It's such a cool dude. Miles Hartsfield, I didn't think there was a chance he would make this. He was kind of brought over league minimum guy with Coach Wilkes to teach the kind of coach on the field. But, roster minimum, didn't have a good camp, didn't have a good preseason, didn't make sense, didn't cost the Niners anything. Keith Ishmael, this is a guy I wanted on my roster. I really did. I think that he proved the versatility at center and guard. I think they'll try to bring him back. Deshaun Jameson, huge miss, huge miss, huge need at corner and at returner. And if you look at Deshaun Jameson, that dude, he proved that he belonged as a corner by itself and as a returner by himself. I really, I hope we can get him back. I don't think we will. I really don't think we will. I hope I'm wrong. That was a miss. That was a miss. Right off the bat, the two biggest misses that I have: Marlon Davidson and Deshaun Jameson. And so now, and I get it. Somebody's listening to this going, "Oh, Kyle Shanahan's smarter than you. Kyle Shanahan's smarter." And it's just playing on a loop. And you're right. Kyle Shanahan's way smarter than I am, especially whenever it comes to these rosters. He sees them way more than I do. I'm not saying that Kyle Shanahan's wrong. I'm saying, in my opinion, I think that this was a mistake. Now, if these players somehow clear and you get them back, then it was a gigantic success. I am sitting here saying it's not worth losing these players. That's where I'm coming from. And Deshaun Jameson is at the top of that damn list. He showed. And you had Ayuk talking about how great he was. You had Charvarius Ward talking about how great he was. You turn on the tape and see how great he was. And I know he fumbled that punt. I don't want him as a punt returner. I want him as a kick returner. I do not like it when corners and defensive players are punt returners because they just don't have the time and the experience going with, just catching that ball. Kick returns so simple. Kick return is easy to judge the ball. Simple. Punt return's different ball game. Deshaun Jameson not being on this roster is a mess. It's a mess. I really can't believe I'm with you, Matthew. I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I hope he comes back. I really do. Quantrez Knight, by far one of my favorite players on this roster. If you went to any of the training camp practices, that dude is a team favorite, fan favorite. He's interacting nonstop with everybody. He's incredible. It played well. Highest rated defensive back for the 49ers on PFF. Back-to-back years. Can't find bad plays. Practice squad player of the year. On off the field, just perfect. They're going to bring him back. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. It's rough, man. No doubt about that. That's rough. I'm just real quick refreshing a lot of things and just kind of seeing where things are. A couple other guys that got cut that I want to talk about. Corey Luciano, he was kind of the fourth team center. Ilm Manning played great tape, but he's the smallest tackle in the NFL. Do you value him as a guard? Do you value him as a tackle? He put up great tape. Great tape. Can you get him back? We'll see. Zone teams don't mind the short arms near as much as other teams do. So that one hurt. Can you get him back? He earned it. And again, back to this thing. You didn't keep the best players at all the positions. And you can't really do that in a lot of NFL circles. This training camp, preseason, more than any other since Shanahan has arrived, the meritocracy just is not screaming across, man. It's not. The best players didn't get kept. They did not. Tate Martin cut. I like him. Practice squad guys. Marcelino McCrary Ball got cut. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. You kept your rookies, which I like, but you cannot tell me DFF is better linebacker than Marcelino McCrary Ball. I will never understand that conversation ever. But that's okay. Jason Poe got cut. Curtis Robinson, Trey Swelling, Leroy Watson, Isaiah Winstead. Those are the cuts, and those hurt. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, right here, Golden Dragon. NFL is like a roller coaster of emotions. That's why we love sports. That's why we love sports.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.